Hello and welcome to Norfolk and Suffolk Care Supports in association with ACC Consulting Limited's third part in our Emotional Intelligence Leadership collection. This part will focus on empathy and the video itself is around 9 minutes long.
Hello everybody, I'm Amanda Collinge, and today our bite-sized 15 minutes video is on empathy. So I guess the first question is, what is emotional intelligence? So according to Daniel Goleman, emotional intelligence, or EI as it's often known, is the ability to perceive, use, understand, manage and handle emotions. So according to Daniel, he defines EI, or emotional intelligence, as an array of 5 specific skills or competencies that underpin performance and success. So having defined emotional intelligence, today our focus is going to be on empathy, one of the skills of emotional intelligence. So empathy is about understanding other people's thoughts, other people's feelings, and valuing and supporting others. So by being more aware of other people's thoughts and feelings, we can think about adapting our behaviour to positively influence those relationships either at work or outside of work. Simply put, empathy is the ability to step into someone else's shoes and to feel and understand their needs from their perspective. So let's look at empathy in a little bit more detail. And after the video, you may well wish to complete an audit on emotional intelligence, and one of the sections is all about identifying your strengths and your development areas in relation to empathy. So empathy, it's about working out how people feel by reading their words, reading their body language, reading their gestures, as well as reading and listening to the tone of their voice, which rests upon paying attention to them. People who are able to show empathy understand that whilst we all may show the same range of emotions, we express those in different situations and to a different degree or a different rate, and that we may express those feelings in very different ways. Let's look at empathy in a little bit more detail. People that show empathy are able to work out what people are thinking and feeling by reading their words, reading their body language, and tuning in to the tone of their voice and the gestures of their body language. They do this by honing in and paying attention. People with strong skills of empathy also understand that whilst different people may show the same emotion, we all respond differently to similar situations, and we all express our feelings in different ways. People with empathy see the world from another person's perspective. They take account of their intention, they take account of their preferences, their beliefs and their needs. They also behave in a way that's flexible. They have a range of strategies, different ways of responding in different situations for different people. So they're very person-centered, led by the needs of others. They also show respect for people from all different kinds of backgrounds, different cultures, different interests, different attitudes, beliefs, values, and different achievements. And they're interested in those differences. They celebrate those differences. They also understand the impact of bullying. They understand the impact of prejudice and discrimination. And they want to make things better for individuals as well as society, and they use appropriate strategies to do that. People who demonstrate empathy are also aware of their own feelings, and they manage their own feelings, considering the needs and feelings of others. I'm going to show you a picture now, and I want you to think about what you see. So I'm just going to give you a moment just to pause. What is it you see? Do you see an old lady? Do you see a young lady? Perhaps you see both. So what's this picture about? Well, our minds tend to try and make sense of a situation. make sense of a picture, make sense of a conversation. And when we don't have all of the information, we tend to fill the gaps. So in reality, you can't have an old lady and a young lady in the same drawing. So our brain tends to fill the gaps. Now, if you saw the old lady, did we spend a bit more time to see if we can seek out further information to find the young lady? Or did we see the old lady and take that as fact, take that as our final observation? So how does this relate to empathy? Empathy is about understanding the first perspective as well as the second perspective. So the first perspective is what we see, what we hear, what we think, and what we feel. It's our opinion, our perception. This is the information that we hold. Whereas the second perspective is what the other person sees, what the other person hears, thinks, and feels. So this is information that the other person holds. So by putting ourselves in the shoes of the other person, taking the second perspective, we're more likely to gain valuable information from that person. There's going to be a richer exchange of information, a richer dialogue. And the other person is more likely to then understand you, empathize with you. And there's that saying that people are more likely to understand you if you show those behaviors that you understand them. And that's about understanding them fully, their thoughts, their feelings, their beliefs, their motives. So the wider benefits of showing empathy: relationships that show empathy build trust and respect. Those kind of relationships encourage openness, good communication, more chance of problem solving, being creative with the other person, reduces tension, promotes harmony, and encourages the surfacing of hidden information. And this leads to a new understanding. Showing empathy can also enhance relationships, our sense of well-being, and it can also enhance the well-being of those that you work with, as well as in your social lives. It promotes inclusivity as well. So the benefits can be enormous. So how do we take our skills of empathy to the next level? I guess the first thing to say is to give the other person 100% of your attention. So be focused and don't be distracted. Listen actively, tune into what is actually being said rather than anticipating what you think they are going to say. Be self-aware, know your triggers, know your vulnerabilities, and know your biases, whether they be conscious or unconscious. By being aware of those, we can manage those. Ask meaningful questions, ask open questions that allow the other person to feel that you're interested in them, that you understand them. Importantly, keep your ego at bay. Empathy isn't about you, it's about the other person. So leave your ego at the door. So thank you for listening to our short video on empathy. As a takeaway, we've got an emotional intelligence audit tool for you. So do feel free to complete that and identify your emotional intelligence strengths as well as your emotional intelligence development areas. Thank you.